Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we're diving deep into the electrifying twists awaiting us in the week of September 29th to October 3rd, where family reunions spark emotional fireworks, hidden secrets threaten to unravel alliances, and unexpected warnings could reshape romantic destinies in Port Charles. The spotlight shines brightly on the long-awaited reunion between Liesl Obrecht and her son Nathan West, a moment that's been building with intense anticipation ever since whispers of his survival first surfaced. As Nathan lies recovering in his hospital bed, Liesl will pour out years of pent-up love and regret, sharing heartfelt stories from his childhood that highlight her fierce protective instincts. This tender bedside scene might include Liesl recounting a forgotten family heirloom, perhaps a locket with a photo of Nathan as a boy, symbolizing the unbreakable bond they've fought to reclaim. Meanwhile, Nina Reeves steps in as the unlikely mediator, urging Liesl and Britt Westburn to bridge their fractured relationship. Now that Nathan's miraculous return has changed everything, Nina, drawing from her own experiences of loss and redemption, could share a personal anecdote about her complicated family history, encouraging the women to set aside old grudges for the sake of healing. But will they heed her advice? Britt's reaction adds another layer of intrigue. If she was secretly aware of Nathan's survival all along, she might stage a dramatic performance of shock and joy in front of Nina and Liesl, complete with tearful embraces that mask her deeper knowledge. Imagine Britt hesitating just a fraction too long before responding, hinting at the web of deceptions she's woven to protect those she loves. Shifting gears to the investigative front, Anna Devane uncovers crucial intelligence that could turn the tide in Drew Kane's mounting legal battles, arming her with evidence strong enough to challenge the accusations against him. Teaming up with the steadfast Harrison Chase, she'll execute a high-stakes search warrant, storming into suspected hideouts with precision and determination. This operation might involve dramatic moments like discovering hidden documents in a dusty attic, or intercepting encrypted messages that point to a larger conspiracy, all while Chase provides backup with his sharp detective skills honed from years on the force. Their partnership could even lead to a tense standoff with potential suspects, underscoring Anna's unyielding pursuit of justice and adding a pulse-pounding element to the week's drama. Over at the iconic Quartermaine estate, tension escalates during the reading of Monica Quartermaine's will, where all family members gather in a room thick with anticipation and underlying rivalries. Eyes will inevitably turn to the mysterious Veronica Bard, introduced as Monica's long-lost sister Ronnie, whose sudden appearance has stirred up questions about inheritance and loyalty. Martin Gray, fueled by a burning desire for revenge against Tracy Quartermaine after past betrayals, might orchestrate a clever scheme to make it seem as though Monica bequeathed the grand estate to Veronica, perhaps by forging subtle clues in the will that play on family secrets. This plot could unfold with Martin slipping in fabricated letters or emails that paint Tracy as the villain, forcing her to defend her position amid heated accusations from relatives like Ned and Olivia. The fallout might reveal deeper Quartermaine lore, such as a hidden diary entry from Monica detailing her regrets over estranged siblings, amplifying the emotional stakes and leaving viewers wondering if Veronica's claim holds any truth. In a perilous turn, Ava Jerome finds herself navigating a dangerous predicament tied to the captive Rick Lansing, where every second counts in a game of cat and mouse. Timing becomes her greatest ally as she maneuvers through this high-risk scenario, possibly involving a dimly lit warehouse where Rick is held. With Ava weighing the moral cost of her decisions, she might employ clever distractions, like staging a fake phone call to buy time, or uncover Rick's own hidden motives that tie back to his vendetta against Sonny Corinthos. This storyline could introduce new elements, such as Ava discovering a concealed recording device that captures incriminating conversations, forcing her to decide whether to use it for leverage or destroy it to protect her own secrets. Josslyn Jack's return to Port Charles brings a whirlwind of emotions, as she reconnects with the enigmatic Vaughn amid temptations that test her resolve. Fresh from her trip, Josslyn will struggle to keep their magnetic attraction at bay, perhaps sharing stolen glances during a chance encounter at Kelly's diner, where the air crackles with unspoken desire. Yet, Jack Brennan intervenes with a stern warning, reminding her that pursuing Vaughn could ignite scandals that ripple through her family and friends. Brennan might elaborate on the risks, drawing from his own shadowy past to illustrate how such romances have derailed lives before, even assigning Josslyn new directives as she resumes her studies at PQ desks that involve undercover surveillance or gathering intel on emerging threats. This guidance could include a cryptic message about Vaughn's undisclosed connections to international intrigue, adding depth to Josslyn's internal conflict and making her homecoming anything but ordinary. Elsewhere, Carly Spencer faces intense scrutiny in what could escalate into a full-blown interrogation, whether from law enforcement probing her recent actions or a furious local resident demanding answers about her involvement in ongoing feuds. As questions fly, Carly might deflect with her signature wit, recalling past escapades that showcase her resilience, but the pressure could force her to confront uncomfortable truths. Simultaneously, Drew embarks on audacious moves for retribution, perhaps launching a calculated counterattack against those who framed him. Like planting anonymous tips that expose their weaknesses, this bold strategy might involve alliances with unlikely partners, such as a tech-savvy informant who hacks into secure systems, heightening the drama and setting the stage for explosive confrontations. A shocking visit from Isaiah Gannon to Portia Robinson delivers news that shatters her world, potentially revealing a positive pregnancy test that complicates her already turbulent life. With Curtis Ashford, imagine Portia's hands trembling as she processes the results in her office at General Hospital, her mind racing through visions of how this changes everything from her career to her family dynamics. Curtis, ever the supportive partner, formulates a fresh theory and confides in Portia, which might link to the ongoing shooter investigation or suspicions about stolen blackmail materials. This could cast a shadow over Trina Robinson and Kai Taylor, with Curtis speculating that one or both might have taken drastic steps to protect loved ones, leading to intense family discussions that probe loyalties and hidden motives. Perhaps Curtis uncovers a misplaced clue, like a cryptic note, that fuels his hypothesis and draws Trina into a web of doubt. Wrapping up the week's chaos, Harrison Chase drops bombshell updates that leave Willow Tait reeling, possibly disclosing fabricated evidence from Drew's safe courtesy of Sonny Corinthos, and Brick's manipulation chat implicates Drew in bribing a judge via a suspicious wire transfer. Willow's distress might manifest in a private breakdown, where she questions her alliances and leans on Chase for comfort, sharing vulnerable moments that strengthen their bond. As tough challenges loom for Willow, including moral dilemmas that test her ethics, she could find solace in unexpected places, like a quiet conversation with Michael Corinthos that hints at broader Corinthos family fractures. Next, we're delving into the heart-wrenching family dynamics, as Nina Reeves' long-lost brother Nathan West finally crosses paths with her daughter Willow Tait, forcing him into a delicate position where loyalties might clash and old wounds could either heal or deepen in the turbulent world of Port Charles. The revelation of Nathan West's survival has already sent shockwaves through the community, but nothing compares to the bombshell awaiting him when he learns about Willow Tait's true identity. As Nina's daughter, a connection forged in secrecy and pain that Nathan never witnessed during his presumed 7 years of absence. Having died in a tragic shooting before Willow even arrived in town, Nathan will be utterly floored to discover not only her existence, but also the twisted family tree that includes her fraternal twin, the infamous Nell Benson, whose chaotic legacy still haunts Nina to this day. Picture Nathan sitting in a quiet corner of General Hospital, his eyes widening as Nina recounts the DNA tests and emotional roller coasters that confirmed Willow's parentage, perhaps even pulling out old photos of Nell to illustrate the striking resemblances and stark differences between the sisters. Deep down, Nathan's inherent goodness will shine through, leaving him genuinely thrilled that Nina's lifelong search for her child has culminated in this fulfillment of destiny, maybe even sharing a poignant memory from their shared past, where Nina confided her dreams of motherhood during late-night conversations in their childhood home. Yet, the joy is short-lived as Nathan dives deeper into the fractured relationship between Nina and Will, uncovering layers of betrayal fueled by Drew Kane's manipulative involvement that has poisoned their bond beyond repair. He'll be horrified to hear how Drew entangled himself romantically with both mother and daughter, keeping the explosive truth buried until it erupted in a spectacular fallout that saw Willow abandon him at the altar during what should have been a joyous wedding ceremony. Envision Nathan processing this during a tense family gathering, his detective instincts kicking in as he pieces together timelines Drew's affair with Nina, overlapping with his pursuit of Willow, all shrouded in deception that shattered trusts and ignited feuds. As a man of strong moral fiber, Nathan won't stand idly by. He'll feel compelled to step in as a mediator, drawing on his own experiences of loss and survival to guide Nina and Willow toward reconciliation. perhaps suggesting a neutral meeting spot like the serene Metro Court Gardens, where they can air grievances without the usual interruptions from Port Charles' nosy residents. Complicating matters further, Drew's lingering control over Willow continues to cast a dark shadow, with Nina steadfastly refusing any association with him, viewing him as the toxic force driving the wedge between her and her daughter. The situation escalates dramatically after an unknown assailant takes a shot at Drew, thrusting both Nina and Willow into the spotlight as prime suspects, in what feels like a never-ending cycle of suspicion and drama. Nathan, ever the diplomat with his background in law enforcement, will find himself navigating this minefield while anxiously awaiting Maxie Jones' emergence from her coma, a subplot that adds personal urgency as he yearns to reunite with his beloved wife amid the chaos. He might even visit Maxie's bedside, whispering updates about the family turmoil and vowing to resolve it before she wakes, inventing small rituals like placing fresh flowers from their favorite park to symbolize hope and renewal in their strained lives. For Willow, the discovery of Nathan's miraculous return from the dead will hit like a thunderbolt, upending her already complicated world and forcing her to confront yet another piece of Nina's hidden history that she never knew existed. Stunned and perhaps overwhelmed, Willow could experience a whirlwind of emotions during their first encounter, maybe in a chance meeting at the hospital cafeteria where Nathan approaches her with a warm, brotherly smile, offering stories of Nina's younger days to humanize the woman Willow has kept at arm's length. This shock might prompt Willow to reflect on her own losses, including the pain of learning about Nell, and wonder if Nathan's fresh perspective could bridge the gap she's maintained for so long. To clarify the intricate family ties, while Nina and Nathan are biologically cousins, their upbringing as siblings has cemented a profound bond that transcends bloodlines, shaping how they view and protect one another in times of crisis. Nathan's protective nature, honed from his days as a detective, will flare up when he witnesses Willow's cold treatment of Nina, potentially leading to a heated confrontation where he defends his sister, with passionate arguments rooted in their shared hardships. However, he might pause and redirect his frustration toward Drew, recognizing him as the true architect of the discord after hearing unbiased accounts from outsiders, like Michael Corinthos, who could provide insider details on Drew's scheming ways. The big question looms: will Nathan lash out at Willow for her stubbornness, or will he cut through the noise to pinpoint Drew as the real villain, urging her to break free from his influence? Having been out of the loop for 7 years, Nathan arrives with an untainted viewpoint, free from the town's gossip and biases that have clouded everyone else's judgments about Drew's character. He could leverage this neutrality in a private heart-to-heart with Willow, perhaps over coffee at Kelly's, where he shares analogies from his own resurrection to encourage her to forgive Nina and ditch the man who's caused so much harm, even inventing a hypothetical scenario where he imagines Willow thriving without Drew's shadow, despite his sympathies leaning toward Nina. It's hard to imagine Nathan outright rejecting Willow, given his compassionate core and understanding of family complexities. Instead, forecasts suggest he'll embrace the role of peacemaker, facilitating dialogues that highlight common ground, like their mutual love for Nina's quirky habits or shared values in loyalty and resilience. Red-hot spoilers from ABC General Hospital indicate Nathan has plenty more to voice on this explosive situation, promising layers of dialogue and revelations that could finally mend the rift. Keep watching as we deliver every juicy detail straight from Port Charles. Next, we're exploring the steamy and perilous romance brewing between Josslyn Jacks and the mysterious Vaughn, as their time together in Australia hints at deeper connections forged in danger, but with the shadow of separation looming large over their budding relationship. In the ever-dramatic landscape of Port Charles, down under in the sun-soaked vistas of Australia, Josslyn Jacks and Vaughn are savoring precious moments of intimacy before the harsh realities of their secret lives force them apart, turning what started as a high-stakes mission into a passionate interlude that neither saw coming. Far from the familiar chaos of Port Charles, the pair indulges in quiet beach walks and candlelit dinners, perhaps sharing stories of their pasts under the Southern Cross stars, where Vaughn opens up about his early days in espionage, revealing a vulnerable side that draws Josslyn even closer. This fleeting escape allows them to bask in the afterglow of their intense chemistry, but it's clear that the clock is ticking on their stolen time together, adding a bittersweet edge to every embrace. The sparks truly ignited back in Croatia, where Josslyn and Vaughn posed as the blissful newlyweds Mr. and Mrs. Nash during a covert operation at the luxurious Five Poppies Resort. a cover that blurred the lines between pretense and genuine affection from the start. Tasked with infiltrating a shadowy network, they navigated opulent galas and whispered conversations in elegant suites. But danger erupted when an assailant ambushed them in their room, attempting to strangle Vaughn in a brutal fight for survival. In a split-second decision fueled by adrenaline and fear, Josslyn grabbed a concealed weapon and fired, ending the threat but leaving her haunted by the weight of taking a life, perhaps replaying the moment in nightmares where the man's lifeless eyes stare back at her. Together, they methodically disposed of the body, maybe burying it in a remote coastal spot under the cover of night, their hands shaking as they covered their tracks with expert precision honed from Vaughn's training. In the immediate aftermath, the duo sought solace in an unconventional shower, stepping under the steaming water fully clothed to wash away the blood and grime, a ritual that symbolized cleansing not just their bodies, but the trauma clinging to their souls. Josslyn, visibly shaken by her first kill, leaned on Vaughn's steady presence, his gentle reassurances echoing in the tiled enclosure as he held her close, whispering words of understanding drawn from his own brushes with mortality in the field. This vulnerable interlude quickly evolved into something more profound, leading them to the bed where they consummated their bond in a rush of passion, exploring each other's desires with an urgency born from narrowly escaping death. Now, their hunger for one another seems insatiable, with stolen kisses and lingering touches marking their days in Australia, as if every second is a defiance against the separation awaiting them. Undoubtedly, surviving such a life-or-death ordeal has cemented their connection, pulling them into an unbreakable orbit of mutual reliance and attraction that feels both exhilarating and inevitable. Yet, this pattern echoes Josslyn's history of seeking comfort in the arms of a protector following trauma, reminiscent of her whirlwind night with Dex Heller after a savage attack by the infamous hook killer that nearly claimed her life. That fateful evening, as Britt Westburn heroically intervened with a makeshift weapon to fend off the assailant in a dark alley, Josslyn escaped with her life but carried invisible scars, finding refuge at Dex's apartment where their shared vulnerability ignited a fiery hookup that blossomed into love. Similarly, Vaughn's empathy mirrors Dex's, perhaps even surpassing it with his worldly experience, as he helped Josslyn process the guilt by sharing tales of his own moral compromises and covert ops, like a mission gone wrong in Eastern Europe that left him questioning his path. Their romance traces back to Josslyn's bold entry into the World Security Bureau, enticed by the thrill of justice after she took down Cyrus Renault in a vengeful act at his remote cabin, where she uncovered evidence of his role in Dex's murder. Turning to Jack Brennan for aid, she watched as the WSB efficiently erased all traces of her involvement, from scrubbing fingerprints to fabricating alibis that kept her secret safe. This adrenaline-fueled world appealed to Josslyn's sense of righteousness, leading her to Vaughn as her handler, where their professional partnership rapidly ignited into an intense personal flame. During high-risk assignments, including a fabricated honeymoon that tested their limits and revealed hidden depths, like Vaughn's secret tattoo symbolizing a lost comrade, which Josslyn traces in quiet moments. As their Australian sojourn winds down, Josslyn and Vaughn brace for a return to Port Charles, where duty demands they sever their romantic ties and maintain distance to protect their covers. Vaughn's recent promotion within the WSB might thrust him into the public eye, requiring discretion, while Josslyn resumes her guise as a carefree college student at PCU, all while covertly executing missions that could range from intelligence gathering at society events to decoding encrypted files in hidden safe houses. This enforced separation raises burning questions about their future. They possess the resilience to nurture a long-distance flame, perhaps through coded messages or clandestine meetups. Or will their story fade into memories of Croatia's intensity and Australia's warmth? Complicating matters, Carly Spencer could grow increasingly alarmed upon discovering her daughter's entanglement with a seasoned spy, fearing the dangers that come with WSB affiliations and echoing Anna Devane's earlier concerns about Josslyn's impulsive choices. Carly might confront Josslyn in a heated mother-daughter showdown at the Spencer home, drawing parallels to her own past romances with risky figures like Sonny Corinthos, urging caution and even enlisting allies like Jason Morgan to shadow Josslyn for protection. The duo's courage to defy secrecy and go public hangs in the balance, especially as Josslyn's double-agent status teeters on exposure, potentially unraveling when a slip-up during a family gathering leaks clues to sharp-eyed relatives, like Michael or Willow. When the truth about Josslyn's WSB involvement bursts forth, It promises to ripple through Port Charles, impacting characters from Brennan's inner circle to unsuspecting friends who might feel betrayed by her hidden life, perhaps leading to dramatic interventions or alliances formed in the fallout. Fan reactions are split. Some have embraced Josslyn and Vaughn's electric dynamic, cheering their chemistry as a fresh chapter, while others dismiss him as a mere stand-in for Dex, a poor man's version lacking the raw edge that defined her true love. Josslyn's profound grief over Dex's death lingers, raising doubts about whether her feelings for Vaughn are a genuine evolution, or just a temporary balm for her broken heart. Is this pairing destined for longevity, or will it dissolve like so many Port Charles flings? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do Josslyn and Vaughn have what it takes to become the next power couple, or is their story doomed to be a brief, passionate detour?